Custom quilting. What is that? That's when you do the quilting process on the quilt, and the quilting makes whatever you've pieced or appliqued even better. Now you can do edge-to-edge quilting, just all over quilting, and it gets the quilt quilted. But custom quilting, now, that's when you're taking the quilt to the next level. And we can use a combined approach, embroidery quilting and some ruler work, and together they make both spectacular and better. Let's explore that. Let's do some custom quilting, and I'm going to show you ruler work, talk about embroidery. I'm Cathy. This is Sewing Tech Talk. Let's play. So we're going to do a combined approach, and I have something I think you might like. So, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I'm going to be using some Sew Steady rulers for ruler work, and they've come out with embroidery designs that match the shapes of the rulers. So you can combine them and let the embroidery machine do the embroidery stuff and finish it up with the ruler work. Let's talk about embroidery on quilts. So I have some quilts here, and you know, there's all kinds of new embroidery designs for quilting, and they're great. There are some limitations, but let's just look at a little mini quilt that I did with embroidery quilting. So here's a little quilt that I did. These are some of the designs from that design pack I told you about, the Embroidery design pack. They're really nice for like general quilting. So here's one of the designs, here's another one of the designs over the top of the hearts, and I did some ruler work around the edge. So this is just the designs placed on the blocks. It's custom quilting, but the cool thing is this is a mini quilt, right? So I had enough room in my hoop of my embroidery machine to completely fill in that design. Now, what is ruler work quilting like? Well, here's another little quilt. This quilt is done with ruler work, and you can see the lines. The ruler helps you guide your quilting. So you get straight lines, you can put them together, you can do all kinds of different designs by rotating your ruler and getting really beautiful designs. And it's harder to do if you've marked the line out there and tried to quilt over the top of it. You'll see that when we get to the quilting. We'll do some ruler work quilting. And then here's another one. Here's one with all kinds of different circles. I hope you can see the different circles. Circles are hard to do and make them perfect. But with the template, that really helps you to get that perfect circle. And there's all different kinds of sizes. Well, like I said, there's a bigger circle here, smaller circles here. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But here's what it's just like a head slap. Why did I not think of this? You can use the embroidery designs in the embroidery machine, and because the template shapes match them, you can totally put together your custom quilting design that you might not be able to do with just your embroidery machine. So here's a sample of what I did. So here are, once again, it's a smaller quilt, but here are the designs. There's the different designs that I've combined together on the basic part of the quilt. And I have a design that in the pack, let me hold it so that you can see. This design really is just this right here. Can you see that? That is just the design that I've put in the corner. But I wanted to extend out into the border. And I don't have an embroidery design for that, right? And I don't want to make one. What I used is I used the template that matches that arc. So here's my template that matches that arc. And I hope you can see how this is where the embroidery design ends, and this is where I continued on. So here I am over here. I literally have that same arc that I have with this design that's been done in embroidery. So I can continue it on out. In the corner I have these straight lines. I can use the ruler to just do straight lines to continue it on. So let me show you what that looks like once you've done the combination of the two. So here's that corner. There's the embroidery design, and I've continued on with those lines, the arcs that totally match what the designs are. So how can you see that if you have a smaller design? Now your hoop's only so big, right? I mean, even if you have the biggest hoop, if you've done a 12-inch block, you're kind of limited, aren't you? So with this technique, what you can do is you can do the embroidery design where you need to put it, where you need to place it, and you can connect it up with the rulers or add different motifs or enhance the motifs that you've already stitched. So here's a design from the pack, and what I've done is I've enlarged it. It came in at like a little bit over 7 inches. I'm using the Stellaire, and in the Stellaire I can bump a design 200%. When I did that, that brought this design up to 9 1/4. And that's what I maxed out my hoop. It fits in my hoop, right? So here is, I've drawn out, this is a 12-inch block. Can you see how it doesn't come all the way to the edge? And if I've done the same design in all my 12-inch blocks, that's great. But it's kind of like I've used a cookie cutter just to go into the middle and the different parts of the block. I want to connect them, and I want to make it look like it's custom to kind of enhance that design. So what I did, let's see, I traced out one of the designs. When I stitched it, I know it's right here. Here we go. So let me see if I can show you this. So when you use this ruler, the one that coordinates with this, here it is, and we're going to stitch this ruler over at the machine in a second. But what you do is you spin it and you get this really cool design, right? So I've traced that out, and here I'd like you to see, here's my block. What if I came in with my Rulerwork and I did that motif between the two? Can you see how cool that is? How that would connect the different blocks? It's that missing piece that I'm missing to make it look like I've done custom all over quilting. What about the corner? Well, I literally can put that design in the corner as well, and I've really enhanced what I could do with my embroidery machine. Remember, in the Stellaire, my max is about 9 1/2 inches. If I'm doing a 10-inch block or an 8-inch block, that might work. But if I'm doing something bigger, well, I kind of need to bump that up, don't I? So there's all kinds of things that you can do. So I've done this in the embroidery machine. Let me show you something else. This is the embroidery design. And can you see this one in the middle? What happens is, when you're doing this with the Rulerwork, you're getting a design pretty much like that, right? And it's doing the continuous all the way around. But what happens with the embroidery design is they've taken them and they've done some stuff that'd be more challenging to do. Can you see how they've stopped quilting here? So if I was doing this with my ruler, what I'd have to do is I'd have to know where to stop, come down here, come up here. Can you see that what they've done is they've taken this design, the shape, and they've made more out of it than you can. So let me just browse you through a couple of them. I'll bring them up so that you can see. So all the different shapes. Now this design pack goes with the starter set of templates, right? So all the different shapes in that starter set have been done into embroidery designs. They even have designs that they filled in part of it, and that would really enhance the quilt. So in this design pack, there's 168 designs, and you can see they've done all kinds of fun, different things. And, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. You know what the hardest part of making this video was? Deciding which design I would use to show you this concept. Because there's so many possibilities and so many choices. When you take 168 designs and you combine it with all the things you can do with the rulers, oh my goodness, it's quite a bit. So, what you can do is you can do your embroideries the best you can, and use the Rulerwork to connect them or enhance it. One more thing before we go to the machine. Here is a quilt that I quilted, and let's see if you can see the design. It's hard to see on the print, but if I open up the back of it, oh, that's still kind of hard to see. Let me get, I think I traced that, oh, I did. I traced that out so that you can see it. So here is my design that's stitched on the quilt. I know it's hard for you to see, but I have my little guy. Now, in the border, what can I do in the border? Well, I can do this design in the border, can't I? Now, borders are a little bit harder to embroider, right? Because it kind of falls, it doesn't fit the whole hoop. So, you can do embroideries to do your whole quilt. But even in the border, where it's a little bit harder to do the embroidery, or you may need a single unit of a design, or you might need to break a part of a design apart, because the shapes are the same, just do that in the border, and it's going to be easy. Because quilting along the border, free motion style, pretty easy. So we're going to go to the machine. I'm going to show you some basic ruler work. I've already done another video also on ruler work. We're going to set everything up. I want to bring up real quick and show you kind of what you need, what we're going to need when we go over there. We're going to play with our templates, but you're going to need, and I have a handout. Now I have a handout, and when you get a ruler pack or a template pack from So Steady, comes an accompanying video for all of the different templates that you get. So here's a set. Here's the set that I got, and there's a video, there's a QR quick resource, quick get to it code. You can shine that up with your iPad or your phone or whatever, or type it in, and there's a class for you to learn how to do all of these different rulers, all the special fancy stuff. So you'll need some rulers, you need the embroidery design. This is a crosshair ruler to help you mark. You'll see why that's cool. This is a glider to help you do some free motion. I'm doing free motion. I use gloves, and you'll need a ruler foot for your machine that fits your machine. So go to the handout, and that will show you the different types of ruler feet that there are. All the ruler feet are a 1/2 inch circle, right? But it's the height of your machine's needle bar that affects that. So go to the handout, or if you're confused, you can call customer service at Moore's, and they can help you out with which machine you have and what ruler foot you need to get. And, well, there's a couple other goodies too. So, and the other thing is, I put it down here because it's big, you'll need a flat surface to go around your machine table. This is an extension table. You absolutely have to have that for just about any kind of quilting. So we're going to go over to the Stellaire. I'm going to put the extension table on. We're going to set up for free motion. I figure you guys kind of know about embroidery a little bit, but let's dabble with that ruler work in free motion. Show you a little bit how to do that. I'll be right over there. So now we're set up at the Stellaire for doing some ruler work. Remember, the Stellaire is going to be a great machine for doing the embroidery part of your custom embroidery quilting design too. Because it has this big area, it can accommodate that really large hoop. The width of it, 9.5. So you can get quite a little bit of quilting done in that. So having said that, we're going to do the ruler work right now. And we're setting up the machine. It's in the sewing part of the Stellaire. Remember, it's an embroidery and it's a sewing machine. So we're into the sewing part. Now, the cool thing about the Stellaire also is it free motions beautifully. It's a great machine to free motion on. So here we are. We're set up. I put the ruler foot on the machine. It goes on to where your foot attaches. You take off your foot. The size of it, remember, get the size that fits your machine. The Stellaire is a high shank machine, so that works. And I've put the extension table on that I mentioned, and this is that glider, which is a really, really smooth surface. I usually wear gloves when I do any kind of free motion work, and using the templates, there's a gripper tape that you can put on the bottom of the template to help you grab it. And I put it in the different parts. I just put it where the lines weren't. Now I put a little piece of tape behind both the A and the B, just so that you can see them on the camera. And I'm going to be stitching with a contrast thread, which is a red on this white. Now we need to mark up our quilt to know exactly where to put our design. And I've taken the crosshair ruler and I put it on there. There's a pin. It's like a tack that comes with the ruler when you're going to be doing the spin effects like we are going to be doing. It's a little bit longer than a standard tack, so don't lose it. And it goes right in the middle. Now, of course, I marked this with some high contrast Sharpie, but you're going to be using a wash away marker on your quilt, right? Okay, so I mark the different quadrants so that you can see I have that tack in the middle, and I have my ruler, And this little tack fits right into that, the hole that's in the ruler. And I'm going to line it up with the top part right up here. There's lots of different lines on this ruler. I'm really only concerned with this one right now because the tack is going to hold it right into the center fulcrum. So we're going to put it here and lift the foot and put the foot right in the middle. Now here's the secret for template or ruler work. Have you ever, remember when you were a kid and you probably had that ruler that was really fun and it had all the little stencil shapes in it and you took your pencil and you can write the different shapes of the little letters? Well, it's the same thing here. Basically, the foot is your pencil and what you're going to do is you're going to press down and you're going to move, pressing the ruler foot against the side of the template as you go. Now you're going to do that at a pretty medium rate of speed. I've set the machine up with the top speed to be right about in the middle. I'm comfortable with that. And that means when I press the foot down all the way, it's only going to go at a certain speed. And I'm going to match that. I've done an entire video on free motion stitching, and I'm pretty proud of it. If you want to watch that video, it's in the archive, either on YouTube or Facebook, and it goes through the process that I'm going to talk about doing now for free motion stitching. But you can also get the handout for that, and then the handout for this video also talks to about that. So what we need to do is we need to start stitching. What we're going to do is align the ruler up with the side of the template, and I'm going to start at A and I'm going to go to B, and I've aligned that mark on the top with the mark that I made with that crosshair ruler. Now, all I need to do is I need to stitch it. So what you want to do is you want to go around there at as even pace speed that you can. At the very top, you might hesitate just a tiny little bit, and you're going to go from A to B, and now we're just going to twist that ruler and line it up with the next mark, and just do the same thing. I hope you can see it goes pretty fast. And I wanted you to also notice I didn't have to turn my quilt as I was going around. Now the still air, a very large area on the right, so you can get a pretty big quilt in there. And if you don't have to turn the quilt to get your design stitched, well, it's going to be even easier. So all I have to do, continue on, finish up my design, and it's really going to be a connection I need. If I'm doing my quilt with this design, I'm going to have this pretty design between all of those blocks. Remember, you can change the size of this because in the still air, you can make your design larger or smaller. I have lots of different choices too for making this quilting with embroidery special. I have some that are filled in. I have some that are using even a bean stitch, which is a little bit more. It's not something I can do with free motion stitching, but it's a little bit more defined of a stitch. I can really get some fun effects. Even, which you can believe it, sometimes you can cut this part out and have multi-layered reverse applique. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do. So it's a real simple process to get your ruler work to enhance your embroidery, and especially if the shapes from the embroidery match the shapes from the ruler. It is amazing. Now, I hope you can see this. Have you seen this beautiful piece of fabric behind me? This is a custom dyed piece of fabric. And I'm going to use this process to do some fancy quilting. I can't cut it. It's so beautiful, but I'm going to enhance it with custom quilting. Start in the center with the design and come on out. And I think I can make this fabric, which is already beautiful, even more. I know it's kind of pretty. I put a link in the handout or the website where I got this. It's a beautiful piece. The second hardest thing about this video was picking one of these because they're all unique and they're all beautiful. So check the handout if you're interested in that. Gives you the website so that you can go find it. Now, if you're interested in seeing me stitch this up and do a custom quilting job on that, make a comment down there in the bottom. Let me know if you want to see that video. I'd love to make it. If you're interested, I think I will. So, use your Rulerwork to enhance your embroidery design. Use your embroidery design to do the more difficult things. Use your Rulerwork to make it that much better. The shapes are the same. So, I have used the Embroidery Starter Sampler Embroidery Series. You might already have the Starter Sampler templates. Together, they make each one better. I'm going to send it off to George. Thank you for watching me today. I hope you enjoyed this little adventure in hybrid embroidery quilting and Rulerwork quilting. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Cathy. That was an incredible presentation. And so let's go over the special offer we have on the Brother Stellaire series. So we have the XJ2, which is their combination sewing and embroidery, and the XE2, which is dedicated embroidery. They both share the same embroidery features, which is a large 9.5 by 14 inch embroidery area with over 780 built-in embroidery designs, and of them, over 100 of them are Disney. It also has over 30 fonts and large, beautiful monograms. And with the fonts, you can edit in all kinds of arrangements. You can arc, you can array, you can even cut and paste and kern it in some custom ways. Speaking of customization, you can take a design and do an automatic applique around it. And with the matrix copy, you can copy this very quickly to make patches. And if we had the scan and cut, we can actually send it to the scan and cut out those patches, and then embroider them beautifully. An additional advanced technology is a new 2-point laser positioning. I can take something like a name and position it perfectly on a line. I can use it to do multiple hoopings and match them perfectly. I can even use it for edge-to-edge quilting. Now, part of what the Stellaire series offers is a special relationship with the scan and cut. They actually can marry together, so I can send an applique design right from my machine and it will cut it out perfectly for beautiful applique. But better yet, I can send a design from my scan and cut and turn it into embroidery. It also unlocks a new feature where I can choose one of the colors of my design, whether if it's a built-in design, I can choose that and turn it into applique. But let's take that heart that I sent over. I turn it into embroidery. I select the color, and now it's applique. Now let's bring over the third part of the piece. I want to create my own fabric, and I can do that with Print Moda. I took an image of a rose and I arranged it just in a beautiful kaleidoscope of color. And I printed that fabric and placed it on in the scan and cut. I took my design I created on the Stellaire from the scan and cut, sent it over to the scan and cut it out, and I have one complete embroidery design created with that trifecta of creativity. Now the XJ2 also is a sewing machine, and it has a large 11.25 inch opening, beautiful lighting. It has 760 built-in stitches, from quilting stitches to applique to utility. It even has automatic stippling and some beautiful decorative stitches that are very, very wide. It also has an automatic 1/4 inch feature which moves the needle over a 1/4 inch from the foot, and you can use the laser guidance it has on there so you can just do some beautiful piecing. It also has amazing fabric control with an automatic fabric sensor, and this gives you the ability to sense multiple layers like in denim, or if I want to sew on some sheer fabric like this tricot, I can do that beautifully, or even working with elastics. It handles the fabric beautifully. If it's even more extreme, we can add the digital dual feed. This is a belt-driven feed system that gives perfect contact on the fabric. And so you see here with this marine vinyl, there's no slippage. I also can use it with such things as minky, which is hard to sew with, and of course, quilting. So let's talk about the special we have on the Stellaire XJ2. This is the combination sewing and embroidery machine. This has a manufacturer suggested list price of $12,999.99, and it's on sale for $9,999.99. We have interest-free payments, plus we're offering free shipping across the country. But wait, we have a special bonus. We're going to include that Print Moda Studio, that fabric printer by Brother. That has a retail value of $1,499, and that's included free for a limited time. Now, let's say we want the ultimate package, the trifecta of creativity. That's when we add the scan and cut. So you add the scan and cut, now we have all 3 items, and we have that on sale for $10,749.98. We have interest-free payments and free shipping across the country. But wait, this is for a limited time. Now, if I want just the dedicated embroidery, let's say you already have a sewing machine and you want the XE2, which is dedicated embroidery. This has a manufacturer suggested retail price of $9,999.99. We have it on sale for $7,499.99. We're offering interest-free payments as well as free shipping across the country. And of course, we're going to include that bonus, the Print Moda Studio, free with the purchase, and that has a regular retail price of $1,499. But let's make it the ultimate, the trifecta of creativity. You will get the scan and cut added with that, and that total package for all 3 items is $8,249.98. And we do also have interest-free payments on that as well, and free shipping. But don't wait, this is a limited time offer. Click on the link to order. You can email us at customerservice@moores-sew.com or give us a call at 1-800-865-9666.